Logic,
Logic,
the
the
study of
study of
beliefs,
belief,
is
is
about
about
consistency of
consistency of
beliefs.
beliefs.
Since
Since
beliefs are
beliefs
not
are not
tangible, however,
tangible,
it
however,
is
it
difficult
is
to study them
difficult to study
directly.
them directly.
So instead,
So
we
instead,
study the
we study
words
the
or
words or
sentences that are used to
sentences that
state them.
used to
But
state
there are
them. But
hazards in this
there are
method of
hazards
studying
in this
beliefs.
method of
First
studying
of all,
beliefs.
a
First of all,
sentence
the
may have
sentence
two or
may
more
have two
different
or more
meanings,
different
which
meanings,
makes it
which makes it
ambiguous.
ambiguous.
Second, the
Second,
same
the same
sentence may be
sentence
used on
may be
different
used on
occasions
a
to
different
talk about
occasion
different
to
things.
cover
So
different
a
things. So
sentence, say,
sentence say
she is
she is
beautiful,
beautiful
could mean different
could mean
things
different
or
things
refer
or
to different
refer to
girls
different
from
girls
occasion
from
to occasion.
occasion to occasion.
Third,
Third,
people sometimes
people
tell
sometimes
lies, in
tell
which case
lies,
the
in which
meaning of a
case the
sentence
meaning of the
intentionally
sentence
differs from
intentionally
what the
differs
speaker
from what
believes.
the speaker
When we
believes.
want to convey
When
our
we
beliefs
want
to
to
other
convey our
people,
beliefs
we
to other
usually put
people,
them
we
into
usually put
words,
them into words,
unless we have other
unless we
alternative ways of
have
presenting them,
alternative ways
as
to
artists
present it
do.
as artists do.
Therefore, the study
Therefore,
of
the study
beliefs
of
is
belief
destined to
is
rely on
destined to rely
mediating
on
language in spite of its
mediating language in
limitations.
spite of its
How, then,
limitation.
can we
How
surpass
they
those limitations? The answer has
The
been
answer
obvious
has
to everybody,
obvious to everybody
except
except the
philosophers all
philosopher
along.
all along.
We should not
We should
forget that
not forget
language is
that
only a
language is
medium for
only a medium
communicating
for
beliefs.
communicating
It is
beliefs.
not the
It is not
beliefs
the belief
themselves.
for themselves.
This naturally
This
leads us
naturally
to a
leads
more
us to a
open-minded
more
and more
open-minded and
logical
a more
approach to
logical
logic,
approach to
taking
logic,
human and
taking human and
circumstantial conditions
circumstantial
into
conditions
consideration
into
for what our
consideration
beliefs
for
are and
what
how
our
they are
beliefs
related
are
to
and
each
how
other.
they relate
At the
to
same
each other.
time,
At the same
this
time,
keeps us
this
humble,
keeps us
with the
humble
realization
with the
that we must
realization
always
that we
endeavor to express ourselves
expression
clearly and
clearly and
concisely.
concisely.
Okay, folks,
Okay, for
we
always we
contrasted
constructed the
cultures in terms
cultures
of
in terms of
communication patterns
communication
in
patterns
last
in
week's
the last
class.
week's
The
class.
gist of it
The
is,
gist of it is the
communication in
communication in high
high-context
context
cultures
culture
depends
depends
heavily on
heavily
the
on the
context
context
or
or
non-verbal
non-verbal
aspects of
aspects of
communication.
communication.
Much
Much
information to be
information to be
exchanged is
exchanged in
implicit, as
implicit
it is
as
among
it
a
is
close-knit
among the
family.
close-knit
On the
family.
other hand,
On the other hand,
low-context
low
culture
context
depends more
culture
on
depends more
explicit,
on explicit,
verbally
verbally
expressed
expressed
communication.
communication.
A highly
A
literate,
highly literate,
well-read culture,
well-read
like
culture like
academia, is
academia is
considered a
considered a
low-context
low-context
culture,
culture,
as it relies
as it
heavily
relies
on
heavily on
information
information
communicated
communicated
explicitly by
explicitly
words.
by
We've
words.
seen that these
We have seen
differences in
that
communication
differences in
styles
communication
can lead to
styles that
major
can lead to major
misunderstandings.
misunderstandings.
Today, we'll
Today,
talk
we're
about the
talking about the
practical
practical
application of this
application of this
contrast in
contrast in
conducting
conducting
research.
research.
At first,
At
let's
first,
look at
let's
some
look at
demographic
the
statistics.
statistics.
The
The
U.S.
U.S.
population more than
population more
tripled
than
during the
tripled
20th
during the
century.
20th
It's
century.
now
It's now
estimated to be about
estimated to be about
288 million,
208 million.
and most of the
And most
increase
of
is credited
it
to
is
minority
credited to minority
sectors.
sectors.
Census
Census
figures of the year
figures over the year
2000 show that
2000 show that
31% of the
31% of the
population is
population is
comprised of
comprised
minority
of minority
residents.
residents.
The official census
The
numbers
reference
indicate the
never
presence of
indicates the
more than
presence of
36
more than
million
36
blacks,
million
about
black
13% of the
per
population,
population,
41.3 million
41
Hispanics,
million
about
Hispanics, about
14%,
14%,
11.9 million
11.9
Asians,
million
about
Asians, about
4%,
4%,
and
and
4
4
million
million
American
American
Indians,
Indians,
about
about
1.5%.
1.5%.
Whites still
Whites
make up
still
more
make
than
up more than
69% of the
69
total
of the
U.S.
total
population,
US
but
population,
that
but that
percentage is
percentage is
declining.
declining.
As you can
As you
see,
can
the figure
see, the
was
figure was
75% in
75% in
1990.
1990.
The Hispanic and the Asian
And the Asian
populations in
population in
particular have
particular
been
have been
increasing very
increasing very
rapidly.
rapidly.
This fact
This fact
substantiates
is
our claim that
substantiates our
possessing
claim that
cross-cultural communication
cross-cultural
skills
communication
is
skills
becoming
is
more and
becoming
more
more and
critical
more
in all
critical in
sorts
all
of
sorts of
research.
research.
When we take up
When
any
we
kind of
talk
study involving human
involving a
subjects,
human
first of
subject,
all, we
first of
have to be
all, we have
prepared to
to
know the people in the
know the
study
people
groups
in the
in
study
terms
group
of
in
their
terms of their
cultural and
culture and
socioeconomic
socioeconomic
background.
background.
Your research
Your
should
research should
identify the
identify
cultural
the
groups of
cultural
your
groups of your
subjects,
subject,
because even
because
among
even among
immigrant
the
groups from the
immigrant
same
group from
country,
the same
there are
country, there is
significant
significant
cultural
cultural
variations
variation
resulting from
resulting from
differences in
differences in
education,
education,
degree of
degree
assimilation,
of
and
assimilation, and
social economic status.
socioeconomic status.
Second, we have to be
Second, we
aware
have
of
to
the
be aware
sensitive
of the
nature of
sensitive
this type of
nature of this
research
type of
and
research
try to
and try
avoid
to
even
avoid
the
the
appearance of
appearance of
stereotyping and try
stereotyping
to reach
and
out
try
to
to
all
reach
people
out to all
individually.
people individually.
Well, a successful
Yes, a simple
cross-cultural
cross-cultural
communication
communication
begins with
begins with
knowledge, as they
knowledge,
say.
as they say.
This high
This
and
high
low
and low
context
context
comparison
comparison
gives us
gives
a
us a
handle on
handle on
communicating
communicating
across
across
cultural boundaries.
cross-cultural boundaries.
Note that hidden
Note
cultures of
that the
poverty and
hidden cultures
literacy also exist within communities, and this issue must be addressed when conducting interviews and meetings. Literacy is the big problem. Results of the government's National Adult Literacy Survey show that 46 to 51% of adults in this country performed at the borderline level of functional literacy. This amounts to a whopping 90 million people. So, written
So written
communication may
communication may
not be
not
the
be the
best
best
approach when
approach
dealing with
when
a
dealing
community
with
with a
a
high rate
community
of
with a high
illiteracy.
rate of
This
illiteracy.
presents a problem
This
for
presents a
communicating
problem
detailed,
concerning
highly
detailed,
technical
higher technical
information.
information.
Consequently, when we design our
Consequently,
research,
for
we'll have to
research,
take both
we have to
economics and
put economics
education into
education into
consideration.
consideration.
In any case,
In any
every
case,
effort
every
must be
effort
made
must be
to
made
reach
to
these segments of
reach
the
the
communities
segment
to
of
make our study
communities to make
population a
a population
well-represented one.
well represented
Well,
one.
okay then.
Well, okay,
Let's go
then
over our
let's go over our
communication watch
communication
list
watch
here.
list here.
You're supposed
You're
to read the
supposed to
whole
read
list
the
and
whole list
summarize
and
it.
summarize
This should
it.
make
This
us more
should make
aware
us
of and
aware
responsive
and
to
responsive
situations
to
arising
situations
from
arising from
communication glitches
communication
and
glitches.
impasses. Item number 1 is
Item
nonverbal
1 has
communication.
nonverbal
Bob,
communication. Bob,
can you explain
can
this
you
one to the
explain this
class?
one to the class?
Nonverbal
Nonverbal
communication is
communication
carried
is
out through
carried out through
intangibles. I mean,
intangible
your body language, status, relationships, use of silence and tone, and stuff like that.
stuff like
The
that.
factors
Factors
communicating meaning other
meaning
than
other
spoken
than
words.
spoken words.
Right.
Right.
Studies show that more than
shows that more than
60% of
60%
communication
of
is
communication is
nonverbal
nonverbal
and will be
and
remembered
will be
long
remembered
after
long
your
after
actual
your
words.
actual words.
Many
Many
cultures
cultures
determine the
determine
seriousness
the
of your message
seriousness of your
not by
message
your
not by
words,
your
but by
words,
your
but by
actions
your
and
actions
emotions
and
during your
emotions during
delivery.
your delivery.
Okay, how
Okay,
about second
however,
in
the
the
second
list?
in the list,
Eye
eye
contact.
contact.
Well, most of us
Most
were
of
taught
us
to
are
look at a
taught to
person
look
while
at
we're
a
talking
person
with and
while we're
listening to
talking
him.
with and listening to
But
him.
in some
In some
cultures,
cultures,
looking
looking
down is
down
considered a
is
sign of
considered a
respect,
sign of respect.
and direct eye
Direct
contact is
eye
regarded as confrontational.
contact is
Americans tend to think you are
American
untrustworthy if you don't look them in the eye, though.
Okay, there's a poser. Item 3, smiling.
Item 3,
How can
smiling.
it be a problem?
How can it
Can
be
I
a
take that
problem?
one?
Can I take that
Sure,
one?
go ahead.
Sure, go ahead.
Well, what we have
What we
here
have here
is sort of a false
a
positive
false
problem, so to speak.
problem, so to speak.
I mean,
I mean,
when you don't see
when
any
you don't
smiling
see
faces
any
among your
among
subjects,
your subjects,
it may not
may
necessarily mean you fail to communicate with them. Acceptance of you or empathy toward you may be hidden behind that straight face. People from different cultures express emotions and stuff in ways that are different, and so unfamiliar to us. A smile and a nod may not signify acceptance or agreement. It can mean that the guy is just being polite to you, and he may not either agree with you or understand you. Yeah, I noticed that even here in the States, people up north don't smile as much as we do around here.
Now that you mention it, that's true, isn't it?
Well,
Well. Okay,
Okay,
next. Next item is touching. In many cultures, it's considered improper to touch a stranger. In a study cited here, a group of researchers counted casual touches during conversations in outdoor cafes in different countries. A total of 160 touches per hour were recorded in San Juan, Puerto Rico, 2 per hour in Florida, and 0 in London. This tells you when in doubt, do not touch, other than maybe a formal handshake. Also, don't touch with the left hand, because in some cultures that is considered taboo. Well, okay. Next.
Item 5 is
Item
space,
5 is space,
which means
which means
interpersonal space. In the United
In the United
States, many
States,
people
many
stand at
people
arm's
stand
length
at
from each
arm's
other
length from
without
each
even
other
realizing
without
doing
they
it.
even
It's
realizing
just
it.
sort of a
It's
reflex.
just sort of a
In
reflex.
some Asian
And
cultures,
Asian
people
culture,
stand
people
even farther apart.
further apart.
And in some
And
Hispanic
in
or
some
Latino
Hispanic
cultures,
or
people are
Latino
comfortable
people that
standing
come from
closer to
standing
each other
closer to
than
each
arm's
other
length.
than arm's
As
length.
always, you should observe the
Already,
behaviors of the group
the
and follow their lead.
All right. So far, so
So
good.
far, so good.
The last one on the list is about...
It's about perception of time. Different cultures have different concepts of punctuality. When some people agree to meet at a certain time, 10 o'clock for example, they see 10 o'clock as a discrete point in time when the meeting is scheduled to begin, and anyone who arrives after 10 o'clock is considered late. They are kind of sticklers for time. Other cultures see the meeting time as a diffused point, and anyone who arrives between 10 and say 10:30 is considered punctual. Mind you, this doesn't give you license to be late. You must be on time as always, but you must also be prepared to be delayed.
Excellent. You guys have done a good job of summing up the communication tip list. I can add a thing or two from my own experience in the field here. First of all, we should avoid humor and jokes. American humor often depends on word plays that don't translate well and can unnecessarily confuse your listeners. Rely always on a pleasant facial expression instead. On the technical front, we should always use visual aids wherever and whenever possible. A picture really is worth 1,000 words. The universal language of visuals can make your job much easier. As I said last week, we must recognize our own culturally bounded assumptions and perspective. So try to communicate respect and to demonstrate flexibility. And most of all, try not to judge.